Federal Reserve signaling a hike is coming, but just not that soon. And that had the Dow going from a 150-point drop to a gain of, well, about 227 points, as you can see. Now, Heath Herzog doesn't like what she heard today. Jonas Max Ferris does. Charles Payne just hates the Fed altogether. He's got issues. I don't have time. All right, Heath, what do you think?
We know that this hike is going to be inevitable, and I say let's do it. I think it should happen sooner versus later.
Could you explain to me something, because you understand these Fed missives? Is the Fed has said that they took the patience thing away, which you guys make a big deal of. I have no idea what that means. But what they've said is rates are still going to go up, just not as soon as you might have feared.
Right, because to break down that crazy speech that she just gave, she's basically waiting to see wages go up a little bit more and the labor market to get better. The problem is the labor market is getting better at a very slow rate. It's not going to make a difference whether it gets better today.
But she's still going to raise rates.
She's still going to raise rates, and I say do it sooner versus later. The reason why is because when rates were high back in 2008, the American consumer had $450 billion more to spend. With lower interest rates, this has an impact on their savings.
This little thing called the meltdown.
Well, and there's no incentive to save, though, Neil. Like, when we have higher interest rates, the American consumer and the American public save more. You see pension rates go up, everything gets better, people feel better.
Fair enough. Jonas.
In the last few months, Neil, this thing has stopped becoming about inflation and asset bubbles and unemployment and wages. They just talk that because they can't say what they're really doing. They are gambling on currency prices right now, and they know because all the European countries started to get very late to this game of lowering rates and now have negative interest rates, that if we let our rates go up, the dollar, which has already climbed significantly in the last few months, is going to skyrocket and be like the Swiss franc, where all of a sudden you can buy a BMW here for less than a Ford Focus. And that's a major problem for jobs in the economy. They can't let that happen, so they have to keep rates low because the Europeans are until the Europeans.
You don't think it's a good idea, or you do?
They had no choice. If you let the dollar keep going up, it is not good. That's why
I beg you to stop talking about the dollar. All right, Charles.
Well, first and foremost, I wish there wasn't a Fed. That being said, that train has left the station, and anybody watching this show that's missed out on this rally because of the Fed, you'll never be in the market because it's never going to be pure ever again.
Because people base their investment decisions on what the Fed is doing.
Yeah, or just the very fact that it exists. Their own press release tells you that they couldn't do it. Okay, the press release. Since January, the economy has moderated somewhat. The growth is moderated. Household spending is up only because energy prices are down, backward prosperity. The recovery in housing remains low, understatement. Export growth is weakening. Weakening? It's crashed. Are you kidding me? The first three sentences tell you why they couldn't hike rates. Now, that being said,
I've never seen anyone react to a Fed statement like that.
But what I will tell you, what I kind of liked that Yellen tried to do, is she's trying to wean Wall Street off this idea that the Fed's got to hold their hand every single day and promise them, hey, guys, it's going to be okay. Now, she did it like a typical mommy would, where, you know, my mom threatened me a lot, and she didn't always follow. She didn't. Oh, for a very good reason, but she never followed through at the first time. So today she didn't necessarily follow through. See,
my father never warned me, period, just for the sake of it.
We had the same father.
Exactly. So, where does this all go? Now, let's say, I always think, did the markets get ahead of themselves today? Is this presaging that the whole world's getting ready for this moment when rates go up for the first time since 2004? Or is it going to fall like an anvil on people's heads when it happens?
No, I think that we are going to have a little bit of a pullback with the market, and we see that all the time, anytime the interest rates go up. But long term, this is going to have a great impact on the consumer and the investor. We're going to have a sustained growth. When the Fed rates go up, that indicates that our GDP is going up, that our economy is in a strong place, and that's where we want it.
So we can absorb this?
Yes, absolutely.
Jonas, you think a rate hike itself could be inflationary?
There's not going to be any major rate. Even when they raise rates, they're going to go like 1% and stop. There's no more high rates. People have to get. It's been years of people talking about these high rates. Rates are low forever across the world. Good countries. I'm talking about Greece. Somewhere like Germany. 1 to 2%. That's it. For years, there's not the growth to have 5% rates. There's no inflation for 5% rates.
You see that long, Charles?
5%
CD,
it's never going to happen.
Long time. We're talking about a 25 basis point hike. This is all these hissy fits that they have.